Citing irregularities and corruption, the Nigeria Police Force has rejected the recently released list of successful candidates in the ongoing 2022-23 police constables recruitment. Force Public Relations Officer, Assistant Commissioner of Police Olumuyiwa Adejobi, says that the scrutiny of the published list revealed several anomalies. This follows a deluge of complaints from unsuccessful candidates and stakeholders over the disappearance of names of those who were screened and successful up to the final stage. He alleges that names of persons who did not apply and did not participate in the recruitment were published as successful candidates. According to him, the list also contained names of candidates who had failed either the computer-based test or the physical screening, as well as those disqualified after being found medically unfit. He also raised allegations of financial dealings and corrupt practices leading to the outcome where unqualified and untrainable individuals have been shortlisted. Well, let's bring in a rise analyst and lawyer, Frank Tietie, for more on this. I mean, this is very scandalous. Fraud at its highest places. The Police Service Commission in the recruitment of constables, people collecting bribes as much as 500,000, 700,000 naira, 1,000 naira for placement. Where is the integrity?
Oh, well, I think this calls for a bit of hope for our country. And it also puts to test the idea of exalting the Inspector General of Police above the members of the Police Service Commission. That has come as a practical value of that aspect of the Constitution, which has exalted the Inspector General of Police to the level where he is directly responsible only to the President. If the Inspector General of Police had been under the control and influence of the Police Service Commission, we would have been in a terrible state of quagmire at this time. Now, what are we talking about? A police constable that paid 700,000 naira to ensure that the person that passed the police test, the police recruitment test, whose name was already shortlisted but removed because someone else paid 700,000. The idea is that you already have a program criminal that will be sent to the streets of Nigeria. What is the mentality? The mentality is that he's going to recoup his money back. He doesn't owe allegiance to Nigeria. He doesn't have, and I like the expression that he's untrainable. He comes to the mindset. Whether we like it or not,
that's what the police statement said.
Whether I like it or not, I am quite relieved and happy that the Inspector General of Police did not, mince words about it, and that he stood up. It doesn't matter whether the law expressly gives the responsibility of appointment of policemen, the appointment of every policeman to the Police Service Commission.
Well, that's,
but we are talking about
ruling,
expectedly the constitutionally empowered institution to decode crime in our country, the police, now directly accusing the Police Service Commission. What are we talking about? We expect a state of emergency to be declared in the Police Service Commission as we speak.
First, the first CID should have moved in. Even our friends at the EFCC should have moved in immediately.
No, you need to look at the protective,
what is there? No, what is there to protect?
No, you need to.
What is there to protect?
There's a provision.
I mean, we're talking of public interest.
Let me tell you. There's a provision on the Police Service Commission Act, Establishment Act, that somehow it doesn't really immune them from investigation. But again, it expressly says that in the exercise, in the discharge of their duty, members, the commissioners of the Police Service Commission are not subjected to any authority. They are not subjected to any authority. Hold on.
In the discharge of this duty that is bellicose, that is fraudulent.
No.
I mean, that is tainted with lack of integrity. These are not my words.
Yes.
It's coming from the Nigeria Police Force in their press statement against the commission that is supposed to superintend.
I think what we've seen is that this has always been. We've always experienced this brickbat between the Police Service Commission and the Nigerian Police Force because of the state of the law. The man who
and there's a clause. There's a clause that will stop such investigation that the EFCC cannot move in?
Only the president can direct that at this level. In this case, the Inspector General of Police has done what he ought to do. If he were not directly under the control of the president, the Police Service Commission would have moved against him, would have disciplined him, but unfortunately they cannot. And I'm happy that he has exercised his independence in the interest of Nigeria by coming out openly, not necessarily to accuse them, but to simply make it bare that you look, let's face the problem. I am in charge of policing in this country. I mean, the Inspector General of Police in this case. And I take responsibility for the operation and control of the members of the police force. You don't blame me when Nigerians blame me. I take responsibility, and you give me this sort of criminals as police recruits. And he said it. And so he has vindicated himself. In this case, push the buck to the president. Don't. In fact, you see, there is presumption of innocence at all times when there are allegations. So right now, the members of the Police Service Commission, have now been alleged to have compromised the process. But the point is that where are the defined rules of, recruitment? Who should put them there? Now, but coming to this program, because of a news analysis assignment, you have to balance it with the facts. Clearly, the police has been quite, circumspect. They've been very civil in that statement. They didn't mention that the horrible, findings of persons paying bribes and persons who have passed, whose names have been removed and all that. Definitely, there ought to be a sort of criminal investigation. But the police shouldn't be the one investigating. ICPC should step in. However, there is this position by Okechukwu Nwaguma saying that, look, why would the police complain? Weren't the police, as an institution, part of the recruitment process? Didn't Arase, as chairman of the Police Service Commission, ensure that he included all members, shades of all opinions terms of institutions?
They never endorsed the reports they sent. The reports they sent, that headed by a DIG, right, who was the secretary of that recruitment panel, was never accepted by the PSC.
Whatever the case is, we have a situation where it has been exposed that previous police recruitment have been tainted with corruption. For the first time, I believe, we have an IG that has now said, for goodness sake, you can't allow this to stand. I don't think we should
that this cannot continue again.
We shouldn't dwell too much on this.
If it's been so in the past, yes, a lot of people have alleged, but no Inspector General, let's put it on, notice, he's come out to say, no, I'm not going to accept this recruitment because it is tainted with fraud. And the integrity of the Nigeria police will be rubbish.
Apart from fraud, apart from the corruption, apart from the idea of removing persons who passed and then inserting the names of persons who did not even apply, such kind of national embarrassment, what we have experienced is this. First, we now know why we have policemen on the roads, in the street of Nigeria, who act contrary to police. To the standards that have been set in the law. So, well, commending the Inspector General of Police, no doubt, for this cause. But look, there is not yet uhuru until we hear the president cancelling this, this national embarrassment, where the prime investigating authority institution in this country is saying, Police Service Commission, you guys are criminals. You have done this against Nigeria. I think we should not be talking about whether or not it will stand. Right now, there is the Police Service Commission, it's on fire. And I don't expect anything less than a serious state of emergency be declared in the actions, in the stables of the Police Service Commission as we speak.
Well, what Nigerians are even saying with this is that the the first leg of the test was,
the computer-based test.
Yeah, the computer-based test was done by the Joint Admission and Matriculations Board. It was found out to it. How could staff of the Police Service Commission have easily manipulated that result?
That requires some measure of forensic investigation. So we don't want to drag in JAMB now to say JAMB compromised this, because JAMB does not have interest. The idea is that who are those who have the interest? The people, possibly members of the National Assembly, politicians, members of past senior members of the police force. Talking about senior police officers, and then persons who also work in the information and IT department, information technology department, who have the maneuver, the maneuver and the ability to do such kind of things. There has to be a total overhaul of the process. Nothing short of, you know, I heard talking about review of the process. I think that's mild. We're talking about pulling it down and then asking persons to take responsibility, and then possibly, if you really love this country as president, so use these people as scapegoats, use them as examples of what have or have not embarrassed the country. Let me tell you, the police force is the single most important barometer of measuring the state of compliance and law enforcement in the country, whether it has to do with issues of crime or issues of compliance to standard. So if our police force is this embarrassed, where it is saying, just imagine, Nigerian police force is said to be the most corrupt institution. It's not saying no, it's not acting like a saint, that is not pointing at the Police Service Commission that these are the real criminals who are responsible for what you see in the street. Something has to happen. So there's no plenty talk about police reforms without first of all looking at the recruitment process. And unfortunately, there is a law that says it is the Police Service Commission that should carry out the appointment and recruitment process. But the IG is saying, you don't recruit criminals for me. You don't recruit persons that didn't pass exams, who can speak English, people I cannot train in firearms or to take instructions. And so the IG this time around is highly justified, and the president must act, say very seriously, a real kind of, you know, thorough investigation be carried out. We expect heads to roll. I like the idea of using persons to say this is what happened, so that others will see and feel, refuse to do such a thing in future, because several recruitments are coming. And to think that law enforcement is this corrupt, for goodness sake, we are in trouble. But thankfully, this Inspector General of Police has come out now to show us that this country has hope, indeed. If the Inspector General of Police can say, no, you are accuse the Police Service Commission of this level of humongous corruption and infractions that are of a level that we have not seen in history, where a police recruit will go and carry 700,000 naira to bribe to remove somebody who passed in order for his name to... Look, who brought the money and who infected it? Look, we are seeing a cesspool of corruption that requires, the swift intervention by the president, nothing less.
Well, thank you so very much, Frank Tietie, a rise analyst and lawyer that Mr. President is watching, or his aides are watching, and will effect the necessary...
There is no way about, there's no way around it.
The necessary probe.
They cannot salvage this
situation.
The police is saying less than what it knows. People who collected money, they have them. In fact, interestingly, he's talking about a number of over 500 of these recruits. You're talking about the names removed and then inserted. For goodness sake. This country must have some ray of hope in terms of, living this past and then having this breath of fresh air, especially studying the police.
All right, thanks so very much, Frank.
My pleasure.
Thanks for coming on Newsnight.